Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repairs, and today we're doing an unboxing video. Okay, so here we have the brand new Spark Positive Grid Mini. Here's the box. It has some nice branding on there. It's got a bit of the features: Smart Jam, auto chords, 10,000 plus tones, Bluetooth streaming, also a QR code where you can download the app. Some nice foam in there. Looks like a quick start guide. And just declarations of conformity sheet. And that nice kind of a styrofoam cloth covering. What else we got in here? Oh, okay. So yeah, it looks like we've got a strap. Strap looks like it's pleather with like velvet on the other side. And then our charge cable here, USB-C. And that's it. There's a silica pack in the bottom. So let's have a look here. Yeah, it looks like I got the white Tolex version. I do have a black Spark 40 already, so I want to get a different color to see how it looks. It looks great. Nice Tolex. Let's see if the cover is removable here. Yeah, it looks like it pops out easily. Okay. Oh yeah. So it's got a honeycomb pattern on the grill cloth here, the baffle, with some crescent moon. So that's kind of an interesting style choice. And here it is without the grill on. You got these tiny little speakers. Looks to be like about an inch or so, maybe a little bit more. Then you've got another speaker port in the bottom. This is probably for the bass response. There's kind of a honeycomb speaker pattern there, and covered with a little bit of grill cloth. So cool. And it looks like instead of the Velcro like on the Spark 40, they have like little pegs that go into these holes here, so it makes it pretty easy to take on and off. Cool. And on the back you've got your line out for headphones and whatnot, auxiliary in if you want to patch in music with a 1/8 audio cable, USB, this is for charging. Also, you can use it to connect to your computer for an audio interface, so that's a really nice option. This thing has 8 hours of battery life when fully charged. You've got a pair button for your Bluetooth. You can hold it down for a tuner, and then there's your power button. And one thing I noticed right away here is you have less options on the amp itself than like the Spark 40. So it looks like you've only got 4 different presets, and then volume for guitar or your music, and that's it. On the Spark 40, you had a 3-band EQ. You could adjust your bass, your mids, your treble, all in the amplifier. You had different preset options, all sorts of stuff. So this thing is really a stripped down version. And it looks like you're really going to be reliant on the app for this amp, because out of the box it doesn't have much just on the app itself. So if you're averted to using the app, I would steer away from this amp, just because it looks like you've only got 4 different sounds you can make it sound like, and no other way to adjust it further. So okay, let's turn it on here. Let's just go through the presets on the amp without connecting, and see how those sound. Alright, so we're just going through the presets on the amp. We'll start off with rhythm. I'm going to keep the volume at 75%, and we'll go through the 4 that are on here. it's not very loud. I can pretty much talk over it while I'm playing. So yeah, at 100% on, you know, the clean function, is not very loud at all. So comparing it to like the Spark 40, I would say this is about 30% as loud, maybe less. The Spark 40 can get quite loud. This thing, if you were playing with another musician with a louder amp, you're gonna get drowned out. Definitely not with a drummer. Yeah, so just something to be aware of on this model. It's quite quiet compared to the Spark 40. Yeah, let's just try the other patches here. I'm gonna leave it at 75 for the next. Alright, so this is a little bit more gain. It's got some really heavy delay effect on there, and there's no way to adjust it unless you have the app. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. You're only gonna have 4 different sounds, so if you don't like those presets, you're kind of stuck with them. Yeah, that one has the delay as well. Alright, let's move up to solo. Okay, so that's just like the other two with just a little bit more gain. So it's just like clean with delay, overdrive with delay. This is like distortion with delay. Let's see what custom is. So this one doesn't have the delay effect. It's just high gain. So let's just crank that up to 100 and see how that sounds. Alright, so there is a little bit of sound difference between 75 and 100 on the, you know, the heavier gain settings. So it's not crazy loud, but it's definitely louder than clean. So yeah, even on the highest gain setting, maxed out, it's not crazy loud. I mean, it's loud enough, but definitely nowhere near the volume of the Spark 40. Okay, so those are the presets. Let's just check out the tuner quick. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the button. Okay, so when those two in the middle light up, you're in tune. If the other two light up, the lead and rhythm ones, it means you're flat, and the custom and solo buttons means you're sharp. So there's no way to tell what note you're hitting or anything. You just gotta have to be close to being in tune. So it's not a very powerful tuner, but I mean, it does the job. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and connect to the app and see how that goes. Okay, here we are, connected to the Spark app. This was a very painful process. When I first tried to connect it right out of the box, it would not connect no matter what I did. I reset my phone. I had to do an update on my phone, so I did that. I had to reconnect the Bluetooth a bunch of times as an audio device, and it finally connected. So I'm not sure if that's because I had to update my phone or what was going on, but it really took a long time to connect the first time. Then once I was connected, I was informed that I needed to do a firmware update on this right out of the box to get the latest features. So I had to plug this into my computer, follow a link, download a zip file, extract the zip file, run the new program as an administrator, and then connect my app. So once I got into the app, it was a little straightforward and easy to use, but you need to have some prior computer skills just to even get that far. Then when I was trying to update the firmware, it failed twice. I had to redo the whole process twice. It finally updated, and then when I tried to connect my phone to it again, it wouldn't connect again. So I had to go in, delete my Bluetooth settings, connect Bluetooth again, and then finally it connected. So it was a painful process, and it took about half an hour to get it up and running. So, I mean, for people who don't have a lot of computer experience or, you know, aren't really familiar with using the app, this is really going to be a turnoff. It might not be the same for everyone. Maybe I just had a bit of an issue with my hardware or something like that, but that's something I think Positive Grid needs to work on to make that a little bit more user-friendly, because that's going to turn a lot of people off if they can't connect to their phone and they have to do an upgrade in the computer, and if they're not computer savvy, that might be a little difficult for them. So anyway, we have it all connected now, ready to go, and we're into the app. So I mentioned that it only has 4 presets, but what's cool in the app, it has something called the Tone Cloud. So the Tone Cloud is a bunch of user uploaded effects. So in the app itself, you can build your effects with a whole bunch of different pedals and amps, cabinets, effects units, all sorts of stuff. And these people have designed tones for specific types of music and sounds, and then uploaded them to a cloud. They've been rated by popularity, so you can just scroll through endlessly and test out different popular patches for different kinds of music. Like here's a Metallica patch, Dire Straits, Bend the Fen, which is like a Fender one, Goldface, Jimi Hendrix, Fireball, Van Halen, Stevie Ray Vaughan, David Gilmour, John Mayer, all sorts of stuff, and you can just scroll forever. So that's the most powerful part of the Positive Grid amps, is the Tone Cloud, because essentially you have a million different pedals that you can save on your phone and just have a list of all your favorites and cycle between them as you like. And then you could save to the 4 channels on the hardware, so that you don't even need the app. When you turn on this amp, it'll have those 4 presets saved to whatever one you saved it to, and you can just take that with you on the go wherever, and you can switch those out as you see fit. And you can download these patches, and then you can even tweak them. So let's say you find one you really like, but you want to tweak it a little bit. You can download, like, let's say this Metallica patch, open it up and like change the amp settings or the pedal settings a little bit. So infinitely customizable and tons of different options. So that's the most powerful part about these amps. They've also got a bunch of different stuff on the app itself. Let's see here. So you can go, so this is your amp building part. So you can change the pedals, you can change the heads, you can change the cabinets. It also has different like music packs you can get, like the Jimi Hendrix pack just came out. You can pay money to get all these new different effects for the app. And you've also got a record function, a jam function. So they have Smart Jam on there, so you can jam along to different music types. It'll add drums and bass, and you can even jam along with YouTube videos. They've got a bunch of different songs with all the chords there you can learn. So there's lots of learning aspects with the app as well. It's got a built-in tuner, built-in metronome. You can also change the EQ on your amp, so you can have balanced, rock. If you're playing with acoustic, you can change it to the acoustic EQ, or if you're playing with a bass, you can do the bass EQ. So very powerful app with a lot of different options you can do. And actually this got me thinking, because you have so many different effects, you could basically turn this amp, because it's portable, into an effects pedal for like let's say a tube amp. So you can have all your different effects saved on your phone, or the 4 that you can save on the presets on your amp, and you can just use those on a bigger amp for jamming, practices, gigs, whatever you want. Essentially turning this into like 50,000 different pedals. So I'm figure out a way to plug this into my Deluxe Reverb. I think you just need a cable and adapter, and then let's try that out and see how it sounds, because if that's the case, this would be a really cool application of this amp. I just want to quickly show how I'm plugging this in. So yeah, I'm going out the line out, 1/8 output on the back of the amplifier, and then I'm plugging that into a 1/4 inch adapter to go into my amp. So I'm just going into channel 1. I'm turning on the amp, and then I'm just using my wireless unit to go into the Spark, and then I can just use my phone to cycle through the different sound effects. So let's see how that sounds. Alright, so here I am plugged into the Fender Deluxe Reverb reissue. I'm using the attenuator, the PS1 Power Soak, just so I get more breakup at lower volumes. I've got the Spark plugged in, and just checking out this Tone Cloud here. So I can just cycle through this cloud and try different patches and see how it sounds through my amp. Then I can save my favorites or tweak them. So it's really endless possibilities here. And this is a really cool application of this amp, basically turning it into a pedal for your amp with an amazing amount of options. So let's just go ahead and try a couple one and see how it sounds. So here's a Shine On You Crazy Diamond patch on the Tone Cloud. I'm just going to turn it on and see how it is. So yeah, that sounds pretty good. Again, you can tweak these however you want to sound the best on through your amplifier. Here's a Metallica one. So yeah, again, pretty cool. Oh cool, here's a Black Sabbath one we can try. So yeah, that sounds great actually. So I mean, some sounded better than others, but there are infinite possibilities, so you can tweak and tune as much as you like and really dial in your favorite sounds. Then you can save an infinite amount of them to your phones and just cycle through them at your leisure. So that's crazy. That's a really cool application of this amp, and I think that's the best way to use it. It's also good as like a practice speaker inside, if you can plug in your headphones into it as well and just play on your couch with all those same different possibilities. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Alright, so now that we went through this whole thing, what are my final thoughts on the Spark Mini? I think as an amp, it's not very loud. It doesn't sound great. It sounds pretty good for how small it is. I mean, I don't think there's anything comparable that sounds better for how small it is, but it is quite small and it's not that loud, especially compared to like the Spark 40. Where the power of this thing lies is the portability. So 8 hours of use, and also the access to the app. So the app makes this thing super powerful. 50,000 different tones that you can tweak and save as you like. You can use this as a pedal for your amplifier as well. I think that's the best use for me. I mean, this just turns this into any pedal imaginable. And you can save as many as you want and cycle through them as you like. So incredibly powerful for like practice. Oh, the power just went out at my house. All right, so let's wrap up this video. So yeah, incredibly powerful for practice. You can basically use any tones you want infinitely. You can save as many as you want, and you can use them on your amplifier for live shows or practice or whatever you want. So especially considering the price, that application alone makes this thing absolutely worth it. So yeah, under $300, 8 hours of battery life, and infinite possibilities with the app. So if you're going to use this as just an app without using the app, I would not recommend it. There's only 4 different patches you can use. They're not great sounding, and it's not very loud. If you are using it with the app for any of those reasons that I mentioned, it makes it amazing. So that'll be it for today. Thanks for tuning in to Beckler Guitars and Repairs, and we'll see you next time. Hopefully the lights are back on. Okay, have a good one. Bye.